Hello, my name is Bridget Askew. In this video, I will discuss phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. Also, I will discuss how they both relate to literacy development, a few activities that can take place approaching phonemic and phonological awareness that can help support the academic progression of the young child. Phonological awareness and phonemic awareness is critical for learning to read. For students who lack this skill will struggle with poor reading habits and spelling, which comes from poor phonemic letter sounds. First, phonemic awareness and phonological awareness. Phonological awareness is an awareness to pre-reading by preparing the young child to understand and comprehend the structure of a word. Understanding the importance of sounds and syllables that make a word. Once you learn to sound out the letter, then recognizing the word and reading the word is the next step. Phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness allows you to focus on specific individual sound in a word. This skill allows you to combine syllables into a word that leads to the next level of reading. Simple 2-3 letter words. Phonological development and phonemic awareness relates to literacy development by identifying parts of the word. Syllable rhymes by realizing sounds represents the words and the letters in print. This method helps readers to understand the alphabetical principle of reading new words. Because it's the foundation of spelling to letter recognition. As teachers, we look at breaking down these 7 skills, to better prepare the child for the next level of learning. With these levels of learning, we can look at the print concepts with phonemic and phonological awareness. The print concept is that the child is being able to use their current knowledge of letter sounds with decoding unfamiliar printed words through sounds. Letter naming with phonemic awareness and phonological awareness shows that the words are made up of sounds using the names with 2-3 letter words. Syllables, with that the child can use using their names, and they can beginning, middle, and end. So say if we use the word Fiona, a child would be able to comprehend or be able to recognize or be able to relate that there's another word that begins with the f in, like Fiona. So if we are saying the word feet, or if we're saying the word food, she may say, hey, that's the same letter as the beginning word in my name. Or another child would say, hey, that's the same letter in Fiona's name. And that's right. That shows us that the children are listening. And listening is another skill that is very important, because if the child is listening, they're able to recognize instantly the same beginning letter sound in reference to the same beginning letter sound as if we are to say radio in red, or bus and blue. Being able to relate those letter sounds to another word shows the teacher that these children are listening and they're able to comprehend and understand. And that's just the beginning of the child being able to look at a word and realize that this is a word, this is a sound. And if we know the sound, then we're able to sound out that word, which will allow us to be able to read. And we start off with simple, basic 2-3 letter words. Another skill that we have is vocabulary. Introducing new words to children and explaining what that word means helps to expand that child's vocabulary. So if we're talking about a bus, not only do we know that a bus begins with the beginning letter sound of bu, but what is a bus? A bus is something that we ride on to go from point A to point B. We take a bus to school. Some people take a bus to work. We rode on a bus to go to the field trip. So therefore, my friends understand that the letter B begins with a bus, blue, baby, and the word bus is a new vocabulary word that we know is a form of transportation. So that's enriching our child's vocabulary, and they're able to, when we're reading a story, hey, I remember we talked about the word bus, and so that's expanding their vocabulary. That's adding new vocabulary to our friends already current vocabulary. Then we have what's called phonological awareness. Of course, we know is the ability to notice, think about, and work with individual sounds in a spoken word that leads to reading. Just as I talked about the word bus, we sound out the s, s. So, my friends, when we are reading a story or if we're talking about something, then they remember that the beginning letter sound of bu is bus. And so, with the phonological awareness, they're able to break down a 2-3 letter word and they're able to sound it out. Well, wait, I remember that there was the sound s in bus, but was it the beginning? Was it the middle? Or was it the end? And so once my friends understand that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to a letter sound, then they're able to look at a word that they've recognized, and then they're able to break it down. 3-letter sounds. S. And so then they're able to learn how to read that word that they recognize from the vocabulary that we discussed earlier that we inhibited into building their vocabulary skills. Another thing that we have with our friends is listening, because if we're listening, then we'll be like, oh, wait, we're getting ready to go and have breakfast. Breakfast, bus, blue, boy. I'm a boy. That is right. So we're able to intertwine all of the words and the letter sounds of into what we've heard through listening, through reading, through our letter phonemic sounds. The letters sound boy, bus, blue. We are incorporating new vocabulary. We are incorporating phonemic letter sounds. We are breaking down a word so that our friends are able to add to their vocabulary, build onto their vocabulary, and understand the meaning and the comprehension of these words that we're giving them. Also, when we're talking about speaking, it is our job as educators and as teachers to demonstrate how we are to take our time and how we are to speak clearly to our friends to make sure that they understand and that they hear the letter sounds that we are talking about when we are discussing or when we are talking about something or when we are reading a story. So speaking with phonemic awareness and phonological awareness is being able to correctly pronounce each letter sound, building on our child's vocabulary and communication. Comprehension is understanding the words being read to each other in order to master these phonemics and phonological awareness and vocabulary. It's an active process engaging the thought of comprehension. So the whole point is to make sure that we're engaging our students as we are communicating, as we are using new words, as we are building their vocabulary, as we are speaking clearly, as we are sounding out our phonological awareness, as we are letter naming to understand that each letter has a sound, and which each sound we're able to pick apart the word, we're able to sound out the word, which is going to allow us to engage in having a more successful reading as we continue on with our education. As far as my friends, these skills can be used, modified in academic level to meet the needs of our young students with exceptional needs. Because our friends who are able to sound out letter sounds, who are able to comprehend, who are able to communicate about what happened first, what happened second, what happened last in reading a story, then they're able to move on to the next level of learning. If we have journals, they're able to draw pictures and decipher, well, this is what happened first in the story. This is what happened second. This is what happened last. This is what I liked about the story. I remember in the story we talked about, or when I got home, this is what I did. This is what I did. And then we had dinner, and then I went to bed. When I got up this morning, I did. First thing I did, the second thing